Welcome back to His and Hers Movie Podcast. This is episode number 53, featuring a review of the new Denzel Washington thriller. I never thought I would say that on one of my podcasts, titled The Little Things. Joining me tonight on this February 7th, 2021 is Harley. I am your host, JP. That is Harley. Harley.
What?
What's up, dude? We're back. Back at it again.
We are back at it again, and we are back at it again. What have you been up to?
Not a whole lot. Kind of been a little slow for me this week. Nothing really super fun or amazing or anything like that. We did record on 22 Shots. We recorded the Twilight franchise, and it just left like a really bad taste in my mouth. So, just be on the lookout for that, I guess. But besides that, literally about to watch the Super Bowl today, and that's it. Been a really uneventful week.
Right. Well, for me, I had kind of an eventful week. I quit my job. That was my last day on Friday, and I start a new job tomorrow, so I'm a little bit scared of that. But I'm hoping all goes well. It's just like an orientation, so I don't think it's like the actual job part yet. So, that probably would begin on Tuesday, but start that tomorrow, 8:30 to 4:30, see how that goes. Again, hopefully well. I went to Goodwill and bought a bunch of professional attire, business casual attire rather, because I don't really own clothes like that. So, and let me tell you, I see why women enjoy thrift shopping, because I bought 5 shirts and 2 pairs of pants for $6 hairs today, and that is, you can't beat them prices. So, that was fun. And then I put on my Facebook, I don't know if I mentioned it here, but I got involved with an indie horror film, just from a sort of a high school acquaintance, kind of friend. We talked here and there. She posted about it, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that. I wanted to be an extra. Then we had a meeting, and one of their actors had dropped out last minute, so I said, I'll do that. And it's a small role. It's not really involved with the horror aspects necessarily, but I filmed that pretty much everything yesterday for 6 hours, which was sat. And that was a fun experience. You just, saying the lines and then having them record different angles and just doing it over and over again. Did it at this dude's apartment, and it was kind of weird because I'm at this apartment with 3 people I never met before, but they were all super nice, and it was a fun, unique experience. So yeah, when I get more info on that, of course, I'll talk about it more. The movie's going to be called Cold-Blooded, but I think they want to have it done filming by April, and then they're submitting it to Sundance in August, or before August. That's the deadline. So that was fun. I'm supposed to be an extra too in March, just a background character. Obviously, they don't want my face to be seen because that would ruin the whole effect. But yeah, they said that we could give you a hood and you could just be a background cult member, and I said, yeah, I'll do that. I should have the time. So. But, yeah, that's what I've done. So pretty much my life kind of changed within a week, and hopefully, it's been exciting. I usually am afraid of change, but I've been kind of embracing it lately. So, hoping I made all the right decisions, and that my new job goes well, and that life continues. But other than that, been watching movies. Went to see, you and I didn't even see this movie together. I went to see it with another friend at the theater, and you watched it at home. But the movie we're reviewing tonight, so that's all I've really done this week though.
Yeah, so how big was the role that you had?
It's nothing huge. I want to say I had probably 6 lines maybe in the one part, because there's 2 parts. It's basically I'm playing a sister who comes and checks on this private investigator who's the main character, and he has some mental health stuff going on, they think, but his ears, he keeps having hearing issues. That's kind of a big, the movie's pretty artsy, they want it to be all just focused on weird sounds and ASMR, whatever, that type of stuff. So the guy has like ringing in his ears, and sounds are always very emphasized for him. So I go and check on him, ask him if he's doing all right. That's about 6 lines, and then, you know, I leave, and then it's supposed to be I come back later, I guess after he's met up with this cult and stuff, and he's kind of in a better mood. And when I come back, though, they didn't write lines for that, so we improvised that whole part, and each take we did, like, me and him both said something different, so I don't know what they're going to use for the final one, but yeah, it's not a huge part, it's just kind of a secondary little role.
So you must be a really younger sister, then.
I mean, the guy playing the part is 30. Like, I don't...
And you said he's a private investigator or a detective?
Just like a private. He's supposed to be private investigating into the life of this.
I guess he could probably be that. So, yeah, I guess you wouldn't be too much younger of a sister.
And he looks older. Like, he has a beard and stuff, so, I mean, he looks the part, in my opinion. He was pretty good at acting, and, you know, he's, like, wearing dress clothes and whatnot, so...
Do you guys look like brother and sister?
Well, we did have brown hair, and I think brown eyes, so that's good enough, I think. So, yeah, and I feel that we had decent enough chemistry there. So, I also watched back all the clips that I did, and that was interesting seeing myself, because there was a lot of close-up shots, and the camera was really nice, so you see like every detail. That was kind of weird, but they said I had good facial expressions.
So, I think that one thing that can help you with, like, acting is being a podcaster. Like, I'm not even joking. Just in the sense that anytime somebody first starts in video or YouTube, and YouTube also, or podcasting, like, one of the things that bother them the most is hearing the sound of their own voice for the first time.
Right.
And a lot of people, like, can't get used to that, and it makes them feel awkward. But, like, now I don't even notice a difference. You know what I mean? Like, when I hear my voice, it does sound a little bit different when I hear it on playback. But, like, I'm so used to that sound that it's, like, doesn't even affect me at all.
Right. I, too, am used to the sound of your voice. No, but, yeah, I would agree, because watching the video clips, I was like, because she was like, you want to see it? And then she was showing me other clips from the movie, which looked pretty good. It looks like it's coming together nicely, you know? They're not, like, screwing around. It looks better than some low-budget films that I have seen so far, just the clips that she had. The actors are all good, the effects are decent, and the locations they used are good, and you could tell she's very particular on making sure everything's in focus, and the shots are well done. They're very big fans of Ari Aster flicks, and just the A24 movies too in general, so you could tell especially the girl tries to focus on that type of style. But yeah, watching myself back, I was like, oh god, this is going to be really awkward, but it wasn't too bad. And I still kind of cringe listening to myself on podcasts, because with acting you're just saying the lines that they want you to say. With podcasting, I just say dumb shit myself, so I don't want to hear myself say dumb stuff, and that is a little awkward. But the sound of my voice, I'm pretty much over. I can watch my YouTube videos and not feel too uncomfortable, so that's nice.
Yeah, so I didn't know you wanted to be an actor.
Well, when I was in middle school, I wanted to kind of be an actor, but honestly, I was never that good. I was very sort of stiff with it, and you know, I got a few, actually in middle school I did get decent roles in our plays, but then when I got to high school, there was people who were way better than me, so I kind of gave up on that dream in high school. But I recently always wanted to, you know, kind of wanted to get into the indie filmmaking, seeing a lot of our fellow people doing that, like Mikey Fish and Rebecca Reinhardt and some others as well. It looks like a fun time, so I have been interested in it, and I feel like I did surprisingly well. Like, I feel like this was the best I've ever acted when you compare me to my middle school and high school plays. I feel like I did well on this thing, oddly enough, because I was kind of thinking when I agreed to it, like, I'm going to be terrible and they're going to think I suck, but I put a lot of effort into it and I took your advice where you were like, just pretend that you're actually sitting there talking to someone like you would talk in real life. That's kind of what I tried to do instead of being over dramatic and stuff. And I use my face a lot too, like, you know, make concerned looks and whatnot. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's something I've been interested in, and
I didn't know
had
that
fun.
about you. You never said that to me.
I know, because I gave up on, like I said, I gave up on the dream when I realized I sucked. And I was very, you know, shy, and my problem is just being stiff on the stage. I always feel, it's like I couldn't multitask. I felt uncomfortable walking from one place to another or sitting in a chair. I could stand there and say lines, but I always felt like, oh, I'm going to move over here, and then I'm going to forget what line I have to say, and that type of stuff just would make me nervous. Also, stage acting is way
Yeah, you got to
scarier.
yell pretty much.
Yeah, and you have to remember your lines, or else you look like a freaking idiot, you know? Like, if you mess up on camera, you're supposed to have your lines memorized, but you can at least mess up and be like, okay, we'll do that again. So I think it's a different ball game. But yeah, I would love to, you know, if these two, because it's a brother and sister director duo, I think if this film's successful, they said they have other screenplays that they've written, so, you know, you never know, maybe I'll keep tagging along with them, because I do like...
if you want to if you want to get in movies, like, it's not hard, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to get in real movies, yeah, it's a little harder, but, like, it's super easy to get into indie stuff. You can pretty much just ask, and once you've done like 2 or 3 things, if you say, hey, I was in this and I did this, they'll instantly be like, yep. because normally they're working with their friends and they're like, oh, this person's actually acted before, so like, you know, that they'll automatically go with you. But yeah, I mean, we have a few friends who are like actresses and stuff like that, or people that are in the community, so yeah, it's something you could definitely get into. I've always thought that I could be a pretty decent actor, just from whenever me and my friends, not like decent as in like I could be like in real movies one day. I just mean like I could probably act better than a lot of people that are in indie films. Like not the actual actors, but like the friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the ones who are just there.
Yeah. Because we used to do these like skits. When I was a kid, me and my friend, and we would like act in them, and then also like when he started working with me last year, and we got together, and we would constantly be like making like skit videos at work. Like you never got to see those, huh? When I was like I was pretending like I was firing people and stuff.
No,
they were pretty funny. I don't know if he probably does. I don't know if he still has them or not, but I wanted to. They were funny. But anyway, I think this is pretty cool. You know, it's. I didn't think you would be like that outgoing enough to want to do something like that personally.
Well, that's what I'm proud of myself for doing it, because just the whole concept. I mean, I went to this dude's apartment, and the friend who got me involved is in the movie herself, obviously, but she doesn't play. She has nothing to do with the scene I was in, so she wasn't going to be there. So it's like I went and literally hung out with 3 people I never met before in my life at their apartment for 6 hours yesterday, and it wasn't awkward. And that alone was surprising to me, because I'm very uncomfortable around new people usually, and it felt natural. It helped. They weren't like super, you know, they were like kind of like geeky, like obviously techie, and the one dude was like a band geek before, so it's not like they were super high class, expect all the serious stuff. It was very easy to get along with them. But yeah, I don't know, I just got, sometimes I have spurts where I'm very outgoing, and then I kind of fall back into a shell sometimes, but then I get outgoing again. I've always kind of gone through that type of issue where I'm very roller coastery, but this was not one of those times, and it was fun. And obviously, you know, it's not a paid job, but they did give me a $20 gift card just for being in their movie. I thought that was really nice of them, because I didn't expect anything.
Yeah,
so,
that's cool.
You can be a cult member, buddy, if you want.
I don't know. I probably won't be around, but
Well, when there's snow on the ground, you won't be around.
So,
well, they're filming on they only film on weekends.
Which I usually work.
Well, buddy, you're off on Sunday, stank day. I know it's football day and stuff, but I'm just saying. When it comes around, I'll ask you again.
All right, let's go ahead and get into some what we watched. Do you have a lot this week?
Let me see. I don't think so. No, not really. I have 6.
Okay, you go first then.
Right. Does that mean you have a lot?
I don't have a lot, but I have more than 6.
Oh, no. Okay. All right, well, first up, as per Survive05, I watched Larva. That's one you talked about, I believe, last week, and that was about kind of like, creature, I don't even know if that's what you'd call it, like parasite horror, kind of low budget, feels like a low budget sci-fi film. It has William Forsythe in it, and a few other actors, and it's about this larva that's kind of like taken over this small little farming sort of town, and they're trying to figure out what it is, because it's like, killing people and killing the animals and it's like contaminating the food and stuff. I didn't mind it. I like the setting. Like I said, it was low budget, but I did enjoy the sort of small town, middle of nowhere setting it had, and the actual, insects, larvae, whatever you want to call them, they were very badly CG'd, and that's to be expected, but there was also a few gross out parts where you see it like in the meats and in the animals, and that really got under my skin, because stuff like that is what really gets under my skin, is having any sort of parasite in your food or in your own body, and I feel like I'm going to gag talking about it, so that was effective, but like I said, it was pretty fake looking. I gave that like a 5.5 out of 10, so not horrible. Then after that, I watched The Last House on the Left, as per Watching Movies for Fun, from 1972. This was the Arrow release that I won off of, I think, your show, actually. You did the giveaway, and I think I was on the ep, and Brandon had copies of it, and he sent it to me, and I hadn't watched it, so I thought, might as well crack this open, because it's been sitting here, and it's a pretty good edition. I didn't realize it came with, like, a poster too. I think the poster's pretty cool. I would like to frame that bad boy. But Last House on the Left, rape revenge type of film, Wes Craven. It's one that I've never necessarily loved, but I still do appreciate it. It's very hokey at times, but I like the grittiness to it. David Hess is great in it, and so are all the other, scummy people in his crew. It is a good film, for sure, and it has its place. I've always kind of given this, I've always given it like a 7.5. I would bump it up to an 8, because I do think it's a solid watch. The revenge aspects are good with the parents and whatnot, and it does make you feel uncomfortable, so give that an 8 out of 10. And then, it's funny, I watched like 3 movies in a row that had the word house in it. After that, I watched House of Voices from 2004, as per nothing, because, he told me it was an 05 movie. I believed it. I watched it, and it was 04. But what are you gonna do? 2004, House of Voices. This takes place at, like, this old orphanage, and this woman comes to sort of care for the orphanage, I guess. She's gonna live there, and all the kids have moved out. They've been adopted out, besides, like, this one grown, I don't know if she's like a grown woman, like in her 20s, or if she's still a teen. She looks like she's like in her 20s, but no one ever adopted her, and she has like these problems, so she's still left behind with the one of the other ladies who sort of runs the place. And all while they're there, there's like some creepy phenomena going on, and the caretaker woman is trying to figure out the history and what's going on. At first, the movie was cool. I like the orphanage setting. I think that's cool and sort of depressing. I thought, that was interesting. And then when the girl shows up, there's some good atmospheric moments. But overall, I thought it was kind of boring. I'm not sure if it's like a TV movie or just a low-budget film, but it's one of those ones where there's not a lot necessarily happening. You're not really seeing much visually, which can be fine sometimes, but in this one, it just came off as it felt like nothing was really happening worthwhile, so I didn't end up caring for it too much. I gave it like a 4 out of 10. Then after that, I watched House of Wax from 2005, as per my Survive '05. House of Wax, this is one that I saw as a child. I think I watched it with my mom, and I've seen it multiple times since, and it's grown on me more each time. I actually think it's a pretty disturbing concept, what's going on in the movie. Again, I dig the setting. You know, they kind of happen upon this in the middle of nowhere town, and they find that, like, no one's actually living there, and everyone's just these wax figures that these guys have created, and then there's something more sinister to it. I think there's some brutal moments in the film, and like I said, it's rather disturbing with what it does. I always kind of think of it as, like, House of Wax is a fun movie, but it's actually a rather serious and, like I said, disturbing flick. So I think it's definitely a good one from '05. I give it an 8 out of 10. Then after that, as per watching movies for fun, I watched Ju-On: The Grudge from 2002. Always wanted to check this out. Obviously, the original Grudge film, you know, the main one, the American one, is remaking, although it takes aspects from, like, the first 3 Ju-On movies, I believe. But yeah, this was decent. You know, it's very much the same as The Grudge. The scenes are pretty much shot for shot, kind of like with The Ring and Ringu. But it had some creepy moments. You can feel that the budget is low, and at first I was kind of like, I don't know about that, but the more I thought about it, I think it actually made it almost more effective and unsettling that it did have that low budget, where The Grudge actually focuses more on some, you know, special effects and a little bit of CG. This one feels more kind of do-it-yourself and not focused on too much, so it is definitely creepy in that aspect. So I did enjoy it. It was a little tedious to watch since it was very much the same as The Grudge. There's, like, probably just, like, a few things that are a little bit different towards the end, I would say, but overall, it really is the same film, and again, I wish I could have watched it before seeing The Grudge, but it's cool, and I think it's cool that they got the same actors to play the whole, you know, Kayako, her husband, and child. Maybe they even got the same cat, who knows, but they got the same actors to play in The Grudge that they had in this move. I gave that a 7 out of 10, and then finally, I watched Grave Encounters 2 from 2012 last night, because I wanted to watch something creepy, and I always heard these were creepy. I've never seen the first one, but I did pick this one up on DVD, and I just don't care, and I watched it, and this is about this group of filmmakers who want to go to the Grave Encounters location and see if the events from the first movie were real, because it's trying to be pawned off as being real, and they want to see if it actually was haunted, and because they can't find anything on the actors, so you know, they set out to do that. It almost reminds me of, like, Blair Witch 2, where, you know, that Blair Witch exists in the realm of that film, and people were kind of like, oh yeah, you know, everyone comes here because they thought it was real, blah blah blah. But this movie was pretty good. It definitely had some creepy moments. You know, it does have, like, the, again, CG sort of effects on ghosts, and it's more, you actually see visual ghosts than it playing with your mind, but that works for me. I thought it was scary, and the way it's done is effective, where it's like, oh shit, like, there's a scary ghost running at me, and you could actually see it. Sometimes I enjoy that, and that really worked for me in this movie. I feel like I would probably like the first one better, but again, I have not seen it yet, so I can't really judge, but this one was decent. I gave it a 7 out of 10, and that is all I have watched.
Alright. Okay, let's get into mine. So the first one that I watched there is Survive '05, is The Cave. There's a lot of cave type of horror movies from '05, which is kind of interesting because typically, you know, with a film like The Descent, which was a really big success, maybe like the next year you would get a lot of cave movies, but these must have kind of been in production around the same time, so you would assume that it's just like a weird coincidence. But The Cave, it was okay. It follows a group of cave explorers in Romania who are trying to venture into this like undisturbed ecosystem, and it's like sort of an underwater cave, and there's like a monster there inside. It's nowhere near as good as like The Descent, but it's not too bad either. The biggest problem with it is it's just damn boring for most of the movie. So yeah, I didn't love it. I gave it like a 6 out of 10. Cool. And then really quickly, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. Twilight Saga New Moon 2009. I'll say this. I think that's one of the better ones in the franchise. I think the chemistry between Taylor Lautner and Kristen Stewart is like much better than with Robert Pattinson, even though they dated in real life apparently, which I learned.
Yeah.
And then the Twilight Saga Eclipse 2010. I think that's the best of the entire series. It has like the most things going on, and honestly felt like it should have been like around, like, I know they didn't conclude everything, but it could have concluded everything. I feel like you could have just ended it there, because in 2011 and 12 you get Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2, and those are horrible. I didn't like them at all. So yeah, I honestly have like such a, like, it was all fun and games when I watched Twilight 1 and 2, and it was like, oh, these aren't that bad, like, this is I would watch these again. But then, like, it turned into pure misery by, like, the 4th and 5th one. So, yeah.
I can't believe these are all pretty much 10 years old at this point.
Yeah.
And I can't, like, at first I almost wanted to do that show with you guys, because I thought that'd be kind of fun to revisit these movies, but then the more I thought about it, like, I actually don't want to revisit these movies. Like, that was very much a middle school thing for me, and I don't think I would like them at all now.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I think so. Then after that, that show will come out, maybe. We kind of toyed with the idea of not releasing it as an official episode because we weren't like super happy with it.
Damn.
So I don't know. Maybe you'll hear it. Maybe you won't.
All right.
They Live 1988. I've been trying to do this thing where, like, the movies that I buy, I'm trying to, like, watch them as I get them instead of, like, putting them on the shelf for, like, 5 years.
Mm-hmm. So
I've, like, bought a few movies that I'm watching right away when I get them in the mail. I think that's pretty cool. And I definitely am trying to, like, stay up on watching actual movies that I own. And I've done a pretty good job. I remember last year I wanted to do 150 in the year. I think I ended at like 159 or something. I'm already in the 20s this year in February, so it's pretty cool. But They Live 1988, I picked up the 4K. Really good transfer on that. The Scream Factory Blu-ray was already a really good transfer, so I don't think it's like a massive improvement. But They Live is a John Carpenter film starring Roddy Piper. It's always kind of been one of my favorites of his. Or not always, actually. The first time I seen it, I didn't really care for it, but it grew on me a lot. It's just a really cool movie. It almost feels like more should happen in it. Like, it's kind of a simpler, like, not a whole lot happens, you know? So it's one that I think, like, I just enjoy watching, like, Roddy Piper, and also it's a cool little concept, and I like the setting and the music, and it just has that, like, 80s Carpenter vibe to it. You know what I mean? It just feels like straight Carpenter.
Right.
So I really like that about it, and there's the really fun sequence with Keith David and Roddy Piper, like, beating the crap out of each other. It's like a super long fight sequence. It's, like, comical.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie, it's probably in my top, like, 5 or 6 favorite Carpenter films. We actually did get to see it in the theater at one point, which was pretty cool, because that's one that I doubt would get picked a lot of times, so that was neat. We've actually seen more Carpenter movies than, like, any other director, like, from the retro years, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I've seen Halloween, you haven't. I've seen The Thing multiple times, I've seen
Dark Star.
Dark Star, They Live,
Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness,
The Fog.
The Fog,
Christine. And Vampires.
And Vampires.
That's 7 moves. Well, for me,
8.
that's 7. 8 for you.
8. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's
of
crazy.
Carpenter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of those that you thought, you know, I mean, when you think about like his filmography, what's really missing from there? You know what I mean? Like Assault on Precinct 13, maybe, but like that's not even considered horror. Like out of his horror films, we've seen a lot of the big ones.
Yeah, pretty like all the best ones.
But yeah, They Live. It's like an 8.5 out of 10. Always loved that one. Then I watched Within, also known as The Cavern. So I always thought it was Cavren. Like I thought that's how you said I used to say Cavern.
Oh.
My whole life.
I see.
Until I got this DVD and I was like, Cavern? Oh. I didn't know.
Well, buddy, you're dumb.
Yep. So this one sucks. It's the other cave movie that was there.
So weird.
I think a bunch of friends go into a cave and there's a creature in there, and it's like okay, so the cave, the one that I reviewed earlier, that one actually had like a bunch of bull in it too. Like quick cut editing and stuff like that I hate when the creature's around. This one is like more you can't see anything, but it also they don't even show what's killing them for like a long time. But it's like this horrible like it's so dark, or it's like the colors are stupid. Like it's just hard to watch, like physically actually watch it. It's super low budget, but it almost feels like certain scenes you're like, wow, like this is kind of like a nice little cave location. So it's like, how did they do this with the crappy budget they have? But it's sucks. There is like this accidental cannibalism scene in it. That's the only scene that's worth watching in the movie. The creature reveal is kind of stupid, but laughable as well. It's not a good movie. I gave it like a 2 out of 10.
Jeez.
Then I watched Prince of Darkness from the year 1987. This, of course, is the other John Carpenter film that was just released on 4K, the film we made right before They Live. And I've never been a huge fan of this one. Seen it in the theater, seen it a handful of times on Blu-ray. I felt like I should have liked it more based on like just like the era it came out and like what it's dealing with and stuff like that, but I just never could get into this one that much. Like I like the church, I like all the characters, and you know, like Donald Pleasance is in it, the music's good, visually it's nice. I just think the story sucks. It's just not that interesting. They don't do like a ton with it. It's kind of bland and basic to me. It could have been cooler for like what they're dealing with, like this, you know, millions-year-old entity type thing. So I'm just sticking with my original rating that I've gave it like the last few times I've talked about it, which is 6 out of 10. But yeah, it's like one of my least favorite Carpenter films.
Yeah, I only saw it that one time when we went to Carpenter Fest.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched it since, so.
And the 4K, again, it already looked pretty good on Blu-ray from Scream Factory, so like the 4K doesn't do it like that much justice. Honestly, I don't even know if it's really worth the upgrade, which is kind of crazy. Like I always want to own the like great directors, like all their stuff in like the best format that I can. But yeah, I don't think that those two particularly are like, they're not films that you need to run out and upgrade right away, especially because they're like $25, $27 so each, so not really like the best upgrade. And those are the first two Scream Factory transfers, so I'm curious to see if they do any others, like, if they're going to be a lot better. Scream Factory has never really been known as, like, the best for transfers. Like, they have a lot of good ones, but companies like Vinegar Syndrome and sometimes even, like, Cavern and Arrow, I think I'll do a little bit better transfers usually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's Prince of Darkness, 6 out of 10. And then I watched Attack the Block from 2011. And it's crazy to think this movie's 10 years old at this point. It's nuts. This is one that I remember when it came out. I was doing a lot of, like, Redbox renting back then because I didn't have, like back then, I think I had just started collecting movies. Because I think I just started my YouTube channel. I think I started actually collecting movies in, like, 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
Because I got my first Blu-ray player in 2010, so I was definitely collecting by then. And I started YouTube in 2012. So I was doing a lot of, like, when I would get titles, I would watch them right away. So I would always, like, not have, like, new stuff to watch. Like, I don't have that problem now. Like, I could literally not buy stuff for a couple years and I would still have new things in my collection I haven't watched yet, you know?
Right.
So I don't have that problem now, but back then I used to just watch everything as I got them, and I would do a lot of red boxing for, like, newer stuff I hadn't seen, and Attack the Block was one that I grabbed, and I just thought it was super fun back then. And I hadn't seen it since. So 10 years ago I watched Attack the Block in like, well, 9 years ago in 2012. It's just like, it's honestly blowing my mind to say that out loud.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I know.
it makes me uncomfortable. But yeah, this movie takes place in, like, you know, some sort of, like, South London, inner city, like, housing project type thing. And it follows these young hoods. I believe the proper word for them is chavs, which is, like, this English sort of, like, street kid, adolescent, like, gang type characters, you know?
Right.
Basically, like, a bunch of little assholes.
Right.
And they essentially are, like, robbing people, and they're, like, you know, hoods, basically. Anyway, this alien comes down, and they essentially kill it, and then they're, like, walking around with it as, like, this badge of honor or, like, a trophy. And all the people around them are like, what the hell? And then a bunch more come down out of the sky, and they're like, let's kill those ones too, but these ones are way bigger. So they're, like, kind of like, you know, it's an attack on the block, and they gotta survive, and there's, like, a little redemption story there for the lead and stuff like that. And the monsters are kind of cool looking. They basically look like little black bears, but with, like, glowing blue teeth, which is pretty neat. Kind of a simple but effective design. The real heart of this film is the characters. They're all really funny, and they're very sort of likable, have, like, fun dialogue and stuff like that. And they're bad people, kind of, you know? But because the movie doesn't, like, take itself, like, super, super serious, like, it's like a comedy, you don't necessarily, like, hate them. Like, you're more okay with the fact that they're, like, kind of like hoods and criminals. Like, it doesn't feel real, so you, like, you still kind of like them. Because normally it's hard to have your leads be likable and complete assholes at the same time, you know? But if it's kind of comedic, it's a little... Have you ever seen this?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, it's a real lot of fun. You should definitely check it out one day. But it's funny because I'm always like, whenever I see the movie, I see this movie or another movie, like any movie that takes place in, like, with these, like, chav characters, I always, like, feel like for, like, the next week, I'm always, like, saying, like, what you talking about, bruv? Like, I'll just be at work or something, and then, like, someone will be like, it'll be like Heather or something, and she'll be like, did you see that note? And I'll be like, what note, bruv?
The one that says you're fired? What, bruv?
Or like, what you doing, blood? I have a bad English accent, but I love, like, they all say, like, bruv and blood all the time, and it's, like, hilarious.
Yeah.
Come on, blood. What you doing, bruv? Bruv.
Come on, bruv.
Come on, bruv.
Come on. You're stupid.
Alright. You should check it out, bruv.
Alright, blood. Is that all your moves?
No, I give that one an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Then I watched Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man from 1991. Have you ever seen this?
Yeah, it sounds like you're just watching all kinds of moves for fun. Wait. It does. Are you watching? Do you like moves for? Is this a move for fun?
Of course. I finished the Twilight show and I needed to watch something.
I see. Okay, whatever. Go on.
So Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man is a movie that I actually grew up on.
Oh,
what was that?
That was my washer or my dryer going off. The clothes are done. Go on.
So this movie is one of the first films that I ever seen. I remember it came out in 91. I think I probably seen it like 92 or something. As like a 1.5-year-old or something like that. I don't remember. But it was one of the first. I remember it like all of my life. Like I don't remember a time where I don't remember the movie. You know, I saw it at 2, 3, 4. Like I probably saw it every year of my life for the first like couple years, multiple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one that I've always kind of grown attached to and always. It's like there were like a couple of movies that came out in the early 90s that just stuck with me. Trespass, Surviving the Game, Harley Davidson, and the Marlboro Man. That like those three were like ones that I constantly had on rotation. And yeah, Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man is a really fun movie. It stars Mickey Rourke. And it essentially follows this guy named Harley Davidson.
And the Marlboro Man.
Played by Mickey Rourke. And he's like a biker dude. And at the beginning of the movie, you see him leave this chick that's naked in a bed, and he just like leaves, and then he gets on his bike and he drives away, and you get the sense that he's breaking that off with her. And then it's just him driving for a really long time with Dead or Alive playing while he's on a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson with like this leather jacket and shit, and just it's like, yo, this is fucking cool, man. You know, he stops at a gas station and there's people in there robbing it, and then he like fucking beats their ass and takes, you know, impresses the girl and stuff like that. And then he goes back to his hometown in LA, Burbank, California, and he runs into his buddy Marlboro. And he is sort of like more of a like cowboy character. And those two reunite with their old stomping grounds, this bar where the owner of the bar is basically like a father figure to them. They call him like the old man, and you know, he essentially it's like the kind of like it's like a future type thing. Like all these skyscrapers are coming up in the town, and they put an international airport there, and basically there's a crooked bank, and the bank is trying to foreclose on the bar. So they get an idea, like, maybe we should rob the bank, and then we can get $2.5 million and save the bar. So Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man, Jimmy, Jose, and Jack all get together to, like, rob a bank. But what they don't realize is they rob the wrong bank, and the bank that they rob is actually like a drug, basically a front for drug pushing. And there's this new drug on the scene called Crystal Dream, and it basically, people put it in their eyes and stuff like that, and they accidentally steal a bunch of drugs instead of money. and so then they're sort of like trying to figure out what to do and stuff. It's like an action film, but it is so much fun. There's like a lot of cool characters in there. It was a box office flop. It didn't make any money, but I've always thought it was like such a fun movie. You got Big John Studd in here as Jack Daniels. You have basically, oh, you know who else who plays what the hell's his name? Trying to find his name. Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
Yeah, he's Gus from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, well, he's Jimmy Giles in this movie, and he's like this young, just you know, he's like a younger black dude, and he's like talking like nothing better ever, Holmes, nothing better ever, and I'm just like, what? That's Gus? Like, that's crazy. Didn't even realize it at all. Like, I would have I've seen this movie like 100 times. I would have never noticed if I didn't see somebody point that out on Letterboxd. Vanessa Williams is in here, and then you have like a really Daniel Baldwin's in here. Chelsea Field is in here as Virginia Slim. You'll notice that a lot of these people have like names based off of things like Jack Daniels.
Right, is Marlboro Man just a guy with a cigarette head?
No, he's like a cowboy, but he does smoke a lot of cigarettes in the movie.
Well, every time you said that, I've just pictured a guy with like a whole pack of Marlboro Reds as a head.
Yeah.
So.
But dude, this movie is like such a blast, man. I absolutely love it. It's like one of my favorites. There's so many quotable lines in this movie, like Marlboro's always saying like, well, my old man before he left this shitty world told me this, and then he'll say something like, a good woman can make you, but a bad woman can ruin you. Or like he'll be like, before my father left this shitty world, he told me never chase women or buses, because both are gonna leave you behind. And like he'll always have these quotes that his like old man told him. And then like Harley will be like, screw your old man, he's dead or something. He's like, hey, you leave my old man out of this. He's like, who cares what your old man had to say, Marlboro?
That's funny.
And then like Harley has like great lines too, like that I love. Like my favorite line, pretty sure I based my life on this and didn't realize it. It's better to be dead and cool than alive and uncool. Right? You get it?
Dude, you're stupid.
Why?
Yeah, I get it. Because like you're not cool.
Yes,
you are alive and uncool.
No, I'm not.
So yeah, you did.
I always live my life to the fullest because I always think like I'd rather be dead and uncool, or I'd rather be dead and cool than alive and uncool.
You're stupid. That's dumb. Like, because when you're dead, like, who cares what kind of cool you are? Wouldn't it be better like to be like, it's better to be alive and cool than dead and non? Oh, wait, no, it's better.
He's basically saying like when they're about to do something real dangerous where they could die, he's like, well, it's better to be dead and cool than alive and uncool.
Stupid.
No, it's awesome.
Alright.
But yeah, really fun movie. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's been one of my favorites most of my life. I don't watch a lot of like non-horror like action stuff, but I try to every once in a while I squeeze them in. Alright, and then I watched King of Ants, which is a Stuart Gordon film. Somebody gave me this for Patreon from the year 2003. It basically follows this young house painter who gets roped in with like sort of these corrupt like real estate agent guys or something like that. And one of the funny things about it is that one of the guys is played by, who's the guy in Family?
Oh, the guy who plays in freaking, I don't know what that guy's name is, but the guy from Cheers. Yeah.
George Wendt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's in this film, and basically they kind of rope and trick this like young sort of like naive dude into like killing somebody who's looking into the criminal activities of these real estate people. And when he actually goes through and kills the person, they're like he's owed $13,000, and they're like, nah, we ain't paying you, like we didn't think you would really do it or something, or it was like a bad idea. And then they're like, well, we knew you would like mess it up, so we thought like blah blah blah. And they basically like capture him and like beat the hell out of him because he basically tries to strong arm them by like saying that he made a file on what they did and gave it and hid it somewhere, so that if he dies, the police will get that file. So they try to like basically beat it out of him, and he gets like brain damage, and he essentially escapes from them, but he doesn't really have like memory of like who he is or what he did or whatever. And he actually ends up running into the person that he killed's wife, the widow, and they form a relationship. I'll kind of leave it off there. I mean, that's most of what the story, honestly, but like I didn't really know what else to say. Like that's an important aspect that makes the movie interesting. Honestly, like a super different movie for Stuart Gordon, just because it's not really like in any way Lovecraftian. You know what I mean? And you're so used to that with him.
Yeah.
It's like a crime thriller type movie with a little bit of horror elements, but it's kind of a weird thing because it was produced by the Asylum, which is weird because normally like the Asylum is a company that
they do rip off.
Yeah, like Mockbusters. It's okay. It's nothing great, but I enjoyed it. I gave it like a 6.5 out of 10 on that one. I like the lead a lot. He was fun, and George Wendt is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. Oh, and funny enough, did not intentionally do this. Daniel Baldwin's in it.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's super weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that happens to me a lot, actually.
Like, what are the chances of that, you know? Like, I can't think of a bunch of Daniel Baldwin movies that I watch, but, like...
I don't even know if
isn't that weird? Like, I literally watched those two back-to-back and didn't intentionally do that at all. I didn't know anything about King of Ants. It was just a Patreon film.
Right.
Alright, and then I have... What do I have here? Then I have the last film, Verotika, which I just watched. And yeah, this movie is pretty garbage. It's directed by Glenn Danzig of Misfits fame. Everybody was saying this is the Next Room movie. It's not. I hate when people say that and they so miss the mark. It's not at all. Because like The Room was so special because like of... Well, we know why it was special. We talked about that.
Yeah.
It's like Tommy Wiseau, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, and like, I think the best comparison to The Room is Troll 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I
that
would
really
agree.
is the Room of horror films. This movie is not that. It's just a bad movie. But I think that people were saying that is because like then Glenn Danzig tried to actually make like a good movie. Like I think one thing you said, I was reading the Letterboxd or was the Wikipedia? I don't remember. Somebody said that when this screened, he came out and did like a introduction to the film and stuff like that and talked about it. And when it ended, he came out and said like, well, you guys like didn't laugh at like the parts that I necessarily would have, but whatever, it's cool. So I think he like thought he made something pretty cooler than it actually is. So maybe that's where they're coming from, the Room thing. But if anything, this movie is just kind of embarrassing. But it's not. It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen either. Like people were saying that it's like, pure garbage, and it's a lot of garbage, but I've seen way worse movies than this. This doesn't even come close to the worst stuff I've seen. And It's an anthology film. The first story is about a girl who's actually his girlfriend. I'm hesitant to say what I think about this because I thought she was like pretty horrible, honestly. And she has, I think, a French accent. And I was like, I really hope that that's not her real way she talks, because I literally think that it's like insanely atrocious. And if that's her real, like if she's actually like French or something, like that's gonna blow my mind. But I assume it's an accent for the movie. But at the same time, I'm like, if that was their accent, like how the hell did they like let her keep doing that? You know what I mean? Actually, Carolyn Williams has a small little bit part in this.
Really?
But so the first story follows Glenn Danzig's I think real life girlfriend, from what I read, and she's like a prostitute, and she basically has these boobs that have eyeballs on the nipples. And then she also there's like a Spider-Man guy thing there too that's like killing prostitutes. It was pretty dumb. It really wasn't that good. The effects don't look very good. The second story is about, but it had the fun boob eyeballs, so there was that. The second story followed a what was she, like a stripper who is cutting the faces off of like other strippers and prostitutes and stuff. And that one is called Change of Face. The first one is Albino Spider of Dejet.
I see.
And the second one is called Change of Face, and it basically is about a girl that's like cutting off faces of other girls, and it mostly takes place in a strip club with like 10 minutes of like girls stripping. Like there's a lot of like shameless, like graphic, gratuitous nudity in this film, like a ton. Like it's all naked, like the whole movie is naked chicks pretty much. And yeah, that one was not great either, but had face cutting off segments. But no, it was just, it's bad. Like all the acting's bad. All the the effects aren't. I read that he said that like the effects people that worked on this film were like blown away at the effects, and they're like all garbage pretty much. Like there's a couple okay ones. The story, the pacing, if anything, like I was interested in all the naked boobs that were everywhere. You know what I mean? It like kept my attention, I guess, but it's not good. Like the face cuts look stupid. The mystery girl is like supposed to be a lot cooler than she actually is. Like even the costume's like kind of shitty. Yeah, so that one's not good either. And then the last one is Drukaja Countessa of Blood.
I see.
And this one is essentially like that Hostel 2 scene where the woman is like a countess, and she's essentially like capturing girls who are virgins and bathing in their blood.
Ooh.
It's basic. That's based on a real woman that used to do that in real life. But yeah, I mean, this kind of sucks too. There's like a really long throat slit scene where it's blood spraying for a really long time. It's honestly just not good. You know what I mean? Danzig referred to this film as a tribute to like Black Sabbath and Trilogy of Terror, which is just, it's sad. It's embarrassing. You feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's just so not good. but it's not like the worst thing I've ever seen either. But it's funny, you know how you have like friends that you follow on Letterboxd?
Yeah.
So, just out of all my friends, 1 star, half star, half star, half star, 1 star, half star, 1 star, 1 star, half star, 1 star, and it's hilarious to see them all lined up. I've never seen a film that had that much bad ratings.
Yeah, there's
ever.
usually like 1 4-star in there somewhere.
Yeah, like I've never seen a film with that low of ratings from my friends ever. Usually there's at least one person that's like, I really like this movie. But like even the average rating, 46% of the ratings on Letterboxd are half stars.
Wow.
Yeah. 28% are 1 star. And somehow it manages to average a 1.2 star, which just surprises me because it has more half stars than anything else. But yeah, so it's not good. I gave it a 2 out of 10, so I'm right with them, 1 star. But it's watchable. I will say that it is watchable. It's not, at least, it's not too long. I mean, the boobs really help the watch length. It's 90 minutes, not too long. And since it's an anthology, that makes it a little easier to watch, too. But, alright, so that's it.
Great. Thank God. Alright. So we shall get into our featured review of The Little Things from 2021, directed by John Lee Hancock, starring Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. And the synopsis for it is: Deke, a burnt-out Kern County CA deputy sheriff, teams with Baxter, a crack LASD detective, to nab a serial killer. Deke's nose for the little things, quote-unquote, proves eerily accurate, but his willingness to circumvent the rules embroils Baxter in a soul-shattering dilemma. Meanwhile, Deke must wrestle with a dark secret from his past. Yeah, so, what did you think of this movie, buddy?
I know you didn't really like it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. So, but I'll let you go into why you didn't like it, because you ranted on it, so don't hold back.
Why are you, I feel like you're calling me out.
I am.
That's rude. Buddy, well, if you look at the ratings on Letterboxd, I am in the correct here. But,
what?
yeah.
Okay, hold on.
What? No, what?
2.5 star, 2.5 star, 3 star, 2 star, 3.5 star, 2 star. I guess there is a lot of bad ones.
Yep, they're bad.
4 star here.
Yeah, that was like I had to like scroll through 10 pages to try to find, and now it's, what the hell? I can't find, I literally hate Letterboxd, but okay, whatever. Alright, here we go. Okay, anyway, but no, the movie itself, this is, a psychological thriller, type of movie is what it's, advertised at, so not really a horror film, but, I was curious on it because, it's got Denzel Washington and Rami Malek and Jared Leto, and they're all good actors, so what could go wrong? You weren't able to go see it, we said that last week, so you had to watch it at home, but I went with,
Yeah, as part of the release in theater and at home thing that HBO Max does. I actually went, and it would have been cheaper to go to the theater, because I paid $15 to get HBO Max. For a month.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I have it for a month, so I was watching Batman the animated series on it this morning, and then I think I started watching Ghoulies the other night, but I didn't finish it, so I didn't count it as a watch. But yeah, so I have HBO Max now. I'm not sure how long I'll keep it. I mean, there are some movies that I want to see coming out, but I want to see them in the theater. Damn it! But yeah, there was no way I was going to have time to go to the theater this week, so.
Yeah. But yeah, so I went to the theater with, two friends, and, they're not like super big horror buffs or film buffs, but, they enjoy going to the movies, and we went to see this movie. Had a decent amount of people in the theater. I was happy, because, it seems like theaters have been very cleared out lately, but there was a decent amount of people who came to see this one, and they'll probably never go to the theater again because they saw this one. I was very it felt like nothing was really going on in this movie, and it was about probably 50 minutes into it, and I always sit there in the theater, and I do it with you. I mean, you and I kind of like talk to each other a little bit, but if I'm with somebody else especially, I'm always thinking, I wonder if they're feeling the same way I am or not. And my friend all of a sudden leans over to me and she's like, I feel like literally nothing has actually happened in this movie yet. And I started cracking up because I was like, me too. It's very much like an investigative film. These two team up.
It's a police procedural.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. And apparently this movie was written in 1993. I read, so because everyone keeps comparing it to Seven, but
oh really? It was written in 1993?
I saw that somewhere, like the actual script or something.
That's cool, kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's set in the movie is set in the 90s. I thought that was cool at first. I didn't realize that, but then I was like, oh yeah, their cars are older. None of them have cell phones, TVs, and computers are old. So I thought they did do decent with that. I was just very like wanting to get on with it. I feel like the movie was too long, and it didn't feel like anything was going on. The thing with a movie like Seven is I don't even like Seven that much, to be completely honest. But even with Seven, the storyline is interesting and the kills are, disturbing, and the killer just seems very intriguing. But this movie, for me, I felt like I was actually shadowing a real detective and his partner going around places and being bored, trying to like target a serial killer. And I was bored with them. I was falling asleep with them as they fall asleep at one point in the movie. And, Jared Leto is essentially playing this this very suspicious character that, they really think they have a lead on him. They think he's definitely got to be the killer because he looks like a killer, and he's acting very suspicious, trying to act like he's too smart for them, and all that stuff. And even he was like getting on my nerves. Like, I usually like Jared Leto. He's not even attractive in the movie, so there's nothing to really look at there. But his whole, he was very, I don't want to say mustache twirly, but just super, almost generic. It was like he was channeling every bad guy he's ever seen and being very typical. So I didn't really care for that.
No,
I thought Denzel,
get out of here with that.
That's true with that.
He's not mustache twirly.
I just said that's not the word for it. Do you listen when I talk?
No.
I literally said I don't think that's the word for it. Like, that's not what I was trying to say. That's what you're coming at me with? You're wrong. Okay, I'm gonna continue my thoughts.
Wait.
And
listen,
then the ending.
Hold on. Don't spoil anything.
I'm not.
Okay, but listen, I want to comment on that. Like, I thought he was really interesting because you got to keep in mind he's not. Like, we don't know if he's the killer, right?
Uh-huh.
So he's playing it up like he is the killer, but you're not sure because then you've learned that he's like really into like true crime and stuff like that, and all this stuff. Like, he has a motive to be like falsely leading them to just mess with them and stuff like that.
All right, cool. And the ending, the moral of the story was horrible.
No, there is no moral.
That is, like, it's supposed to be this happy ending, like, oh, yay.
It's not, it's a somber ending.
It's like, yeah, no, dude, it just sucks. It's like, I feel like it's giving a message that's
it's
like,
not
hey,
giving
you
a
can
message.
do this if you just do this. Anyone, you could do anything you put your mind
No,
to.
it's not doing that at all. It's showing you why somebody was so obsessed with this case and like how how his life pretty much got destroyed over what he had done in the past. Like, when they talk about, he lost his marriage and had a heart attack, like, well, we know why now. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's a friend, it's somebody who, it's a friendship story. Like, this person sort of became really close with this person and honestly doesn't want to see what happened to him happen to the new detective. So it's more of like this sort of tragic end to his story, but hope for another person's story.
Sure. I don't know, dude. I was bored, and I just think the movie's bland. That's all. Like
it looks bland, but I think that was like intentional. It has like that gritty 70s feel, not 77 feel to it. It reminded me a little bit of the Zodiac as well. You seen Zodiac with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, that always seemed like something I wouldn't like.
Well, if you don't like good movies, I guess.
Well, this isn't a good movie.
I think it is. It's not. Jared Leto was nominated for a Golden Globe for this one.
I'm like mad because I don't want anyone to listen to your opinion and go watch this in the theater. It's 2 hours and 8 minutes. They legit could have cut out an hour of this movie.
No, okay. I thought it was good. Like here's another thing that I was really surprised with. They don't like hold back with the like the gruesomeness of the killer.
I guess. I'll tell you what, like right at the beginning I was annoyed because like you got this girl who just does all this dumb stuff right at the beginning, and that annoyed me right off the bat.
What?
The girl at the beginning, which I kind of liked at first because I was like, I got Silence of the Lambs feel. She's like singing in her car, and then she does all this dumb stuff where she deserves to get caught and killed, but then she doesn't.
Like what?
She literally pulls over and gets out of her car and knocks on a clearly closed gas station.
Who thinks gas stations are closed?
It's dark and closed, especially nowadays.
Whatever. This wasn't nowadays. This was 1990.
Still, it's dark inside. You could see that. Why would you even pull over? But whatever, dude. I'm just saying, this movie's horrible. Don't listen to JPIC.
Yeah, you'll watch a slasher film where every character makes horrible decisions for like 30 minutes straight.
But this is a police procedural. It's supposed to be serious. I hate the slasher comparison. I hate how people always like compare that to other movies.
Wow.
Because slashers are fun. This is like serious and boring.
You just are a hater. Like, I don't think you understand like well-directed cinema.
It's not. There's nothing.
I'm only kind of kidding. Like, I mean, I don't think it's like amazing, but I liked it a lot. I thought Denzel Washington was really good. I liked
sure he is.
Rami
Denzel
Malek.
Washington.
I liked Jared Leto. I liked all the supporting characters too. They were all good. And I think the thing that I really loved about the movie was the ending.
Yeah, I get it. Like, the ending is okay, but then I was, like, mad because I just felt it's kind of like, okay, like, I don't know. I just didn't like the whole, like, what the ending meant, I guess.
Well, that's because you didn't really get what it meant.
I do get what it means. Like, I can't say what it means.
I know, but you didn't get it. I had to explain it to you.
No, you didn't!
What?
You're annoying. What? You're trolling.
You get so mad.
Like, you were like, the other night when I was about to go watch the movie, you were like, I watched that, or no, it was like the night before, you were like, I watched that movie. In your voice, you sounded like you hated it.
No, I didn't.
So.
I was just been bummed out all week.
No, you were bummed because you watched this movie.
No. Okay, so yeah, you were right, by the way. It originally was a script written in 1993. Steven Spielberg was originally going to direct this.
Passed
on
good.
it because he felt like the story was too dark. Other people attached were Clint Eastwood, Warren Beatty, and Danny DeVito. I wonder if that would have been right around when he did My Cousin Vinny.
Shut up!
What?
No, he didn't do My Cousin Vinny. You know that.
Didn't My Cousin Vinny come out in 93?
I think 92.
Oh, so he would have just finished My Cousin Vinny.
He didn't finish anything. Danny DeVito was probably just sitting at home. Or, like, he didn't do things.
Okay, anyway. What do you, I guess, Letterboxd reviews.
Alright, I'll give a good one, because it was hard to find a good one. By Jacob1504. His favorite films are Joker, Birdman, Inglourious Bastards, and Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Interesting. Okay. And he said he gave it 4.5 stars. He said, "This film was actually really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The acting was great, the writing was very good, and the cinematography was actually quite nice. I thought Jared Leto was the clear standout. He proves, again, to be one of the best actors working today. Denzel Washington and Rami Malek provide great performances too. As always, both, specifically Denzel, are constant, reliable actors to bring the words on the screenplay to life more realistically than most. The only grievance I have with the film is the ending." Oh wait, let me make sure this. "It pulls a Ryan Johnson-style subversion of expectations that kind of just took a massive shit on the first 3 acts of the film. The ending actually kind of sucked, but as a film entirely, the pros outweigh the cons." This guy wasn't really that good at reviewing. He just said a bunch of stuff was good, but didn't explain why. He was like, "That is good. This is great." So yeah, there's that. There are a multitude of bad reviews on this film that I found funny, but I hate Letterboxd because I swear they all get mixed. Like, all the reviews like change up their order whenever you click on them. So hold on, let me see. Let us see. Oh, there was one that was like, "This movie is trying to be like 7, but instead it is only a 5, and the 5 is stylized with the 5 being the first letter." That was pretty funny. I thought that was hilarious. And then what else? Let's see. Hold on. I swear. Just give me a minute. Where'd it go? Like,
what?
I don't know, I just can't find the reviews I was looking for.
Come on, what are you doing? This is
dead
air.
I know, dude, you left a bunch of dead air earlier. I don't want to hear it. Hold on. Just hold your horses. The horses shall be held. The horses shall be held. Alright, forget it, dude. I will just find Dustin Baker's review, because he said it's good. He gave it 2.5 stars. It says, "The most routine serial killer detective procedural you could have possibly expected. The excitement and engagement levels of almost everyone involved feels like the equivalent of waiting to be called into a doctor's office." I agree. And then there's Leto, who embraces every goddamn cliche ever established by ham-fisted TV show villains and goes so far into cartoonish villainy that it becomes laughable. Which shows how effing rough 2020 was on film that he's been nominated for a effing Golden Globe. Yes. And then there was this one that says, "Denzel Washington, just give me a check. Rami Malek. This is way harder when I can't lip sync my way through a performance. Jared Leto. I didn't bathe for over 6 months, murdered 3 hamsters, and developed a hilarious strut in preparation for this role." That's a funny one. And I guess that's it.
Yeah, I read that one too. Who said the hamster thing? That was a funny one.
That was a fun. Wait, where'd it go? Where did it go now? Oh, some guy named Mario Allegre. He gave it 1.5 stars.
And what are you talking about? I left dead air.
You left dead air earlier when you were like, the cave.
Yeah, that's because you don't help me. I need you to help me. I was trying to pull something up.
Whoa, hold on, bro. Do you realize, like, whenever I'm reviewing, you have yourself on mute the entire time, and I could tell because you unmuted, and, like, I will, like, go to try to get you to engage, and you shall not engage?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm busy.
Oh, okay, so maybe I was, like, it's so annoying. Like, I have to sit here on my toes the whole time while you're reviewing because you need me to say things. Oh, here was a good one. The little things. Can I copy your...
Stop.
Wait.
You already did them.
Hold on, it's funny. The little things. Can I copy your homework? 7. Yeah, just change it up a bit so it doesn't look obvious. I feel like everyone involved in this was forced to be a part of it, except for Jared Leto. I was disgusted the entire runtime with Jared Leto's oily hair, and the true mystery of this film is why he didn't decide to take a damn shower. These are funny. These are very funny.
I think that's it. What is your rating of the movie?
4.
Alright, I give it a 7. I think it's definitely worth it.
Oh my god.
What? It's a good movie.
Okay, dude. Whatever.
What did Kaylee give it?
I don't know. We don't rate movies.
You don't talk about the movie after you watch it?
We do, but I don't say, like, what do you give that movie? Like, we talked about the film.
Me and my friends did.
We don't rate them, we just talk about them. Like, we discuss what we liked and if we hated it or liked it or what.
I guess you don't have as good of friends as I did.
Because we didn't give it a rating? That's it? Wouldn't it be worse if we were just like, yeah, 10 out of 10, and then didn't talk about the movie at all?
Why
are
you so hostile this episode?
I'm not hostile, you're annoying this episode. Much like always. I don't even know. You're right, why am I hostile? Because you're always annoying. Always. What's the difference?
Are you mad, bro?
Yes!
Why?
You just let me dead air and didn't even help me with the Letterboxd reviews. I feel like you had pulled up because you were like, oh, I like that one too. It was funny. Meaning you read it and it was probably right in front of your face, but you're just allowing me to choke.
Why are you so mad?
Alright, buddy.
Alright, well, okay, so that's going to wrap it up. I think maybe next week if we can. I don't know if it's out yet. I've seen people reviewing it, but I know that it leaked online. So, the film is Saint Maud. If it's out, we'll probably do that next. If it's not, then we'll have to find something else. Saint Maud, it's A24. I'm sure Carly won't understand it, so it'll probably be...
What are you talking about? I like A24 flicks.
I'm just saying, like, after doing, like, this one with you, I could tell that, like, you don't have the sort of, like, vision to see, like, filmmaking sometimes. And
I understood the entire film!
You didn't understand the complexities of the end.
No, I understood, like, no matter how, like, deep you try to make it, it was still, like, it was kind of like, oh, that's not really a good message.
It's not a message, so...
I'm leaving.
But yeah, like Saint Maud, I'm sure it'll go way over Carly's head. So, you know, I'll lead the charge on that one. But, you know, I'm sure she'll be here to leave some dead air, so...
Wait!
What?
Nothing! You dead aired everywhere!
I know. I was kind of, my head's all over the place this episode, I'm sorry.
Put it on the app!
I just decided to be funny instead.
Take your head and put it on the app.
Okay, so that will be it for this episode. Thank you for listening. We will see you guys on the next one. Hopefully Saint Maud. If not, I think there are a bunch of other movies that came out. Psycho Gorman, we could do that one. Because I have to do that anyway, which I believe that's from the Astron 6 guys. So that would be the editor and Manborg. I forget what else they did. But yeah, so we'll either do Saint Maud or Psycho Gorman.
Right.
Alright. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Bye.